Trish, hi, how are you? Hello, ladies. Thank you so much for
Hello.
joining me in this little chat. And first of all, I can't even begin to say how much I appreciate you and the work you're doing and, putting so much effort into actually making this a better world, helping people and so on and so forth. But I'm just curious a little bit because you all are very accomplished women. You're doing extremely well in everything you do. So my question, I guess, is for you, why are you doing what you're doing? Trish, can I put you on the spot?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Do you mean, I just want to clarify, funny, classic lawyer. I just want to clarify, do you mean in the context of law or why am I doing this NLP training and all this stuff?
First of all, are you using any of this NLP in the context of law? Are you
Yes.
using anything you learn
Ye-
here?
Yes, I am. Yep.
So how do
Yep.
you do that? How do you do that? And why are you doing this? I mean, many people, just don't apply it, but you are one of the people that took this and you go, oh, this is valuable and I can use it this way and the other way, at least my observation. So you
Yep.
tell me.
So initially I got into this because I wanted to help someone really close to me. That was my initial. And then I started to
Yeah.
learn how to do it. And then I recognized not only could I help somebody really close to me, who I actually was successful in helping, but I could help everyone. Like I could use this in my business life. I could use this in my strategies to negotiate. I could use it in my relationship. I could use it, with my children, with my grandchildren. I can use it everywhere. And so why I do what I do is because I can see it so empowering and just like and not even getting into the techniques, just the basic assumption of looking at your language, having a positive internal representation, pre-framing things, reframing things, even going into the stuff that we know how to do. I've seen that this is so empowering everywhere. And I was in the office, I think it was yesterday, in the morning at work in the law firm, and I had a client come in, and it was amazing because I was able to reframe her from a really negative state to a really positive state. And it came naturally. And she loved everything I was telling her. I didn't have to convince her what I was telling her was legit. I was just having a conversation with her and just shifting her focus away from all the things that could happen that she didn't want towards focusing on the outcome she wants and having her intention and her outcome in mind. And that's why I do it because I love it. I love helping people and I just find it so empowering and easy to help people. So a long-winded way of saying because it's empowering.
Yes, thank you so much. You gave me an example. I just wanted to give me an example of, one person that just by talking to them, because I gathered that just the way you used your language, see, this is the big thing to me. The ability of shifting the focus from all the bad things that could happen
Yes.
into all the good things that could happen. And
Yes.
it makes such an incredible difference. It's just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree.
Tamara, what about for you? Same question.
Okay. Initially, it was to help myself heal. It was following an intuition that I didn't understand. Go and study NLP. What's NLP?
Uh-huh.
So here I
Uh-huh.
came. And in since I started studying it, it's become my sole income. It's become everything. But for me, this year, since APEP, I've been trying to go back to values level 5. I've lost all of that drive. I don't have that anymore. It's been a little scary because I'm like, what am I doing? But it's like everything in my values changed over the summer. And it's like I struggled to charge people. I'm like, everyone needs help, everyone. So I went through that whole thing. But in that, now I'm creating again a membership for women that really can't afford high ticket. And this training here, I've had a few breakthroughs for sure that I've been trying to help who I was, and that woman could not afford high ticket coaching. So I'm like,
Ah,
I actually need to let her go. She gets the membership, she can do group work and target who I actually want to work with now who can afford high ticket. So that's been the thing because last year I was earning so much money, but I was working God, crazy. Like I was just back to back to back to back. And I don't want to go back there ever again, Adriana. It was just intense. So now I've got all this space and healing myself. I realized last year I was attaching my worth to performance, my worth to income, my worth to stuff outside of me. I did APEP, didn't attach my worth to anything besides here. And then I was like, I don't have any drive anymore. So it's been a real thing, but my why is so I've just had to pivot how I work and build a better foundation to then now move into the next elevation, which I'm doing now. So why do I do this? Because it's completely changed my life. It's saved my life. And I just want then to give that to others. It's everything. So that's my why.
So just because this may be viewed by people who don't understand values levels, it's simply what you're describing is the transition from a way of thinking which keeps you locked into a job into becoming an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
And the steps that take you there. Yeah. Fantastic. I mean, this is really a big one. More power to you. What can I say? Lee, what about for you?
Well, for me, I did it for purely selfish reasons. I took my first training because I had witnessed a massive shift in somebody that I had taken a previous coaching session or coaching training with. And it was the difference was just so phenomenal. And I'm like, so when I asked her, and it was NLP was the answer. And so I took my first training and I didn't even know what to expect, to be honest with you. I was just like, and I ended up going through the practitioner, the master practitioner, even the trainer's training, all for purely selfish personal growth reasons because I needed to build a foundation. And in building that foundation, I realized I wanted to join this movement of getting that 17% tipping point where it catches on fire and can just literally transform the world.
Yeah, I think that's so important because if we, and I'm thinking we in general, yes, as human beings, as communities, if we all sit there and wait for somebody to do something and expect, and then there is another thinking that I encountered, which is, I'm just the little me, I'm just one person, what can I do? And that's not the right thing. If each and every one of us does something in our own area, in our own with our own background, with our own skills and capabilities, because we're all different, right? The little bit from you, from me, from everybody else, yeah, it all adds up, and it makes, as you say, that 17%. And only like this we can actually have an impact to really make the world a better place for all of us. And indeed, this is massive. So paradoxically, as I hear you talk, to me, it's like this. Yes, I'm doing for my own selfish reasons, but your own change impacts others. So that's how I see it.
Absolutely.
Because the change never comes from outside. It always comes, if I change something here, the outside changes, the external world around me changes. And that's a major, major point when people really understand this and how much power all of us have inside us, which is not tapped into because we give it willingly to somebody or something outside to change things so we can feel better. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't work that way. It never does, isn't it? Amazing, amazing. And Jen, last but not least, you're extremely successful. You took this and ran with it. And I happen to know that where you started and what you went in through your life. And by all means and standards, you should have been all beaten up and not being able to do anything. And I know how much you turned around all this and what a success have you made out of it. Share with us a little bit what was like for you. Same question.
Okay, I think, well, when I first learned about NLP, I didn't understand what it was. Someone came to me and said, Jen, you're a mindset trainer. You should be training NLP. And, I Googled it, couldn't understand it, spoke to a couple of people, couldn't understand it. And then came one day, Terence came and said, oh, he simplified it, unpacked it, and said, and he just sat down and asked questions. And I realized that when I answered those questions, I was talking about really want to impact the world, change lives. And that's the big thing that I was looking at. So I started doing, NLP practitioner and master practitioner for the purpose of incorporating it into my training business, which was nothing to do with NLP. It was just a mindset training, service excellence, personal excellence in hospitality. Did I feel any shifts? I think, yeah, I did. I felt there was shift in my life. Not very noticeable. Yes, there was, but I didn't notice it. But the biggest impact, Adriana, was NLPTT. When I made the decision,
So the trainer training, the presenter skills, right?
when I signed up for NLP trainers training, it was again for the purpose of being a presenter, being, the best presenter and speaker and all that. Happily preparing for my trainers training, questions, answers, formats, and doing all that. And just 6 months, just 1 month before NLP trainers training, I had the worst family crisis of my life.
Yes.
And it was the moment where something that was so important to me was taken away from me. I felt like a part of me just came out, right? I mean, after raising my son for 15 years, it was just like that, being extracted overnight, gone, sat at the gate, waited for him to come back, and he never came back. That was about, I don't know, maybe 2 months before NLP trainers training. And that was the hardest time of my life, the deepest, the most depressing, the most crisis. It was completely living in just like a zombie body that just comes out and down. And yet I have, the other kids to look after, my mom, and being a single mom. And it kind of felt, now that I look back, it was, I completely allowed myself to get into the deep hole. But yet, if I look at it and said, yeah, that's how we victimize ourselves and say, okay, we're single moms, we can't help it, and this is why it is. Yeah. We're totally at effect. That point, I was completely trashed, angry, upset. Like, what the hell's happening? I'm doing all this to help people. I'm doing all this to think, and it has to happen to me again. And one day before your training, I just called TJC and said, I can't do this. I really can't. Because I was shuttling between the lawyer's office and the police stations. And I was like, how can I do this? How can I do 19 days? I mean, I can't. I just can't. That was it. I completely shut off. And one of the TJC's master trainers say, Jen, you just have to give yourself one chance. Just come for day one. If you don't feel like it's okay, you can go and do that next year, but just come in for one day. And I remember going into that trainer's training and meeting you, Adriana, for the very first time, and listening and zonking out and zooming out. And I was just looking at the screen, but not really paying attention. And for whatever reason that happened on day one, I just said, okay, I'm on board. I'm on board. And honestly, I want to thank you, Adriana, because without that training, I wouldn't have been able to go from training, homework, revision, feedback, police station, lawyer's office. For that 19 days, I was going to 3 places. And without NLP trainers training, I would have completely crashed. And, that sort of got me and gave me more power. And from the time I did trainers training in 2021 until just this year, a few months ago, I was still in the legal battle, going through this and that. But the difference was I could go in and come out of C in 24 hours. Because I knew how to do it. I got the thing. I knew how not to put myself at effect. Was it easy? It wasn't, but it was a lot easier. And only a few months ago, I went back to court. And this time, I tell you, Adriana, I don't know, must be the master trainer program. I went in with my lawyer. I told my lawyer, this is what I want, and this is the IR you're going to hold. We're going to this is the decision. I'm going to put a stop to the drama. That's my decision. And I walked in with that and I went on negotiating on that for 1 hour, despite the other side saying, no, you can't do this and all that. And I just said, no, very calmly. I told the judge, my decision is final. I want to end it. It's been 15 years. I had enough. No one needs to go through the drama anymore. And I'm ending it today. And that's my final decision.
Wow.
And that was when the judge says, good, fine, that's it. That's what she wants. That's it. I said, I will withdraw all the legal cases. No more. I'm done. I walked out. And for the first time, Adriana, I could walk right to my ex-husband in front of him, completely no negative emotion, completely no feeling of I'm going to strangle him, completely none, and just say, what's going to happen to the boy's education?
Wow.
I always feel that I used to say NLP helped my business because I was struggling a lot, like doing this and that, making sure I'm doing so many things. And I always say NLP helped my business. NLP saved my business. But in actual fact, NLP didn't save my business. NLP saved me and helped me. Therefore, it saved my business and helped me to grow. So
It's very impressive. Yeah. And I think if I can latch on, you said a few words that I think are vitally important as a reminder for all of us all the time that being a victim is a choice. And when you decided that I'm done, I don't want any of that drama, you stopped it. So that shows us that actually eventually you get to the point where you really get it, that all it takes is a decision. Sure, the skill set that NLP teaches you, of course, I'm not knocking down all of this because you need to know all this. You need to understand how this works and how to master your emotions and how to change your strategies for success. I'm fine, that's true. But ultimately it gets to the point to where you say, no, it's up to my decision and I am empowered and I am in power to decide over my own life. And that is to me major.
yeah, and Adriana, it took me 15 years. So now when I coach women, I tell them,
It
don't
took you a while, huh?
I didn't meet you first, yeah. But that's the point. I tell my clients now, don't wait 15 years. I mean, it was 2021, 2022, went to court. My son came, didn't even dare to look at me. No hugs, no yes, no mommy, nothing, completely shut off, no contact, no seeing. To now, when he came to court, even though he came to hug me in court and said, I love you, mommy, before we went in. Adriana, I can't really explain the women who are struggling in their life. They can stop struggling. We can, if we have provided we have the skill set and the thinking process. The values level have hit me like harder. And this year, I kind of completely, oh my God, after so many years, I finally got it. Adriana, 4 years it took me to really understand values level thinking. Geez, if I hadn't come back from Master Trainer, I would have been stuck at where I understood at master prac level and yeah, okay, values level, yeah, but how does it work? I completely was like learning more and more and more. And now finally, and say, oh my God, I finally got it. 4 years, Jan, 4 years.
That's all right. Listen. Better late than never, right? Anyway, more power to you. More power to you, Tamara, Trish, Taylor. Thank you so much for joining us for this little chat. And my hope is that we can also, inspire other people, men and women equally. Doesn't matter, gender, age, doesn't matter, right? To realize that inside them lies the power, not somewhere else out there. And they can transform their lives. They just need to learn how to. That's all there is. Anyway, thank you very much. Very grateful for the little conversation with you. What can I wish you? Exactly the same type of success and growth as you had until now, be it forever for the rest of your lives. Thank you.
Thank you. And we wish you all the success. Keep doing what you're doing, Adriana, because you are making the biggest difference and you're lighting those little sparks and they're setting off you know, a massive fire within us. So I personally just want to thank you as well. Thank you.
Thank you.
Wonderful. See you later.